Welcome to the First 40 Sports Show with the Goon Squad, Black Thor, Ice Water, and Puma. We're going to tackle top headlines, and Congress accuses the Washington Commanders of stealing season ticket deposits, hiding revenue. And Black, I'm trying to figure out, when is the NFL going to really do something with Schneider? Because he has been, there have been women up on Capitol Hill testifying on, some of the inappropriate things happening. There have been so many things with this Washington football team. I think it might be time to press the button and say, hey, dude, you're making the Shield look bad. And on top of this, you might have to go. Black.
I mean, you should say this, and I'm paraphrasing. I may not say it correctly. He must have pictures or videos of somebody. Because I'm with you.
Gotta be.
Because he's going to take down the whole NFL. Because guess what? If they're looking at one team, ain't long, but they start looking at the others. And they all probably got stuff they're trying to hide. So you're right. I don't understand it. I mean, I was looking at the other day where the guy that gave money to, he paid years ago, the brother that paid money to pay people's black student debt, he's in the process of trying to buy the Denver Broncos. He's up against actually the person at Walmart's heir to buy that. So I'm saying to myself, okay, when the NFL is going to basically walk into Washington, you're selling this. We're not asking you, we're telling you, you're selling this. I mean, you're in the nation's capital. For years, I thought they should have done this. When he was fighting to change the name, I thought they should have stepped in then. So with all this going on, you're right. When are they going to kind of basically say enough is enough? Because this here, man, that's some seedy stuff right here. Don't get me wrong. The stuff they did previously, women, I'm not taking that off the table. I'm not knocking that off the burner. But this here is some underhand, sneaky. And what's happening with what probably will happen, when you talk about hiding money to the side, you're talking about taxes.
Yeah.
Taxes. At some point, the IRS, that's what the IRS is going to kick in. And not only with that team, the rest of the teams, they're going to start looking at them all, bro. And if you start looking, you're going to find dirt somewhere. You're going to find it. So I'm with you. I don't know when. I don't know what they're waiting on. But when the last time you see Roger? I haven't seen Roger since the draft, to be honest with you. I
haven't seen. Well, I did see him in the ice. I did see him in the coaches, I guess, the coaches and the yearly meetings that they have. He made a statement, the same old statement he makes, about black coaches and all this other stuff. But I don't remember him seeing him that much since he was in his living room or in his house doing the draft. What's happening?
Can I interject something real quick?
Sure.
I sent you guys what's the name, man, of the story with was two coaches that joined lawsuit. One of them, man, I think he just dropped the rock in this lawsuit. He literally said, I don't know if you guys had read it, but he literally said, and the guy's backing it up, that a few years ago, what's the guy's name? Marquis, I can't think of his name, with Tennessee Titans. He was told on a Friday he had the job. They interviewed the brother on Sunday or Monday. And Marquis is still saying, he said he felt bad when it happened. He knew that he had the job and they were still interviewing people for the job. And they told him on Friday he had the job, but they got to go through their words. They got to go through and fill out the Rooney Rule. So this cat added himself onto that lawsuit. You're going to see the NFL do some tap dancing now, bro. It's not about blind frauds no more. It is amazing. No one's talking about it. No one. He's even to the day, this guy's still saying it. He's a witness now.
Yeah.
So to me, that sunk their battleship. I'm sorry. Sorry for interrupting, but I just want to throw that out there.
No problem. Maybe we can talk about it a little later. With the Washington Commanders, man, it's like, I'm not sure why they're able to hold this. Maybe they have stuff on other teams and those emails and things of that sort. But for the life of me, I can't see why Schneider's still the owner.
Well, you got a lot of cash, right? You got a lot of cash. You can make some things happen. To his to his credit, that's what they're gonna say. He did finally let them change the name of the team, right? He been fighting there for a long time, so he let them change the name of the team. He's like, you know what? All right, y'all do what y'all want to. I don't care no more. Just do whatever. But this here, shadiness, man. 2 decades. You've been hiding money. Dude, it's like, I don't know. But the scary thing about this is the factor that when you open this door and you try to go after him and go after him for financial stuff, as you said before, there's so many other things that other teams are probably doing too. So you open this Pandora's box, it's gonna start spreading like wildfire, and then they're like, well, I bet you, here's how they roll it out. Because if it starts touching too many teams, then you start bringing down the curtain on the shield. They ain't having that. So here's what they're gonna do. I'm trying to tell you, you think I was crazy and I'll be crazy. They're gonna come up with a fine that's suitable to whoever it may be, IRS, whoever, pay a fine. You're gonna pay a fine. Then they're gonna go like they do. They're gonna find some disadvantaged situations. They're gonna make some money to it like they do. And that's how you get out of it, man. That's how you get out of it. That's what Black Thor mentioned about, we'll talk about that later, about them coaches. You gotta go deeper than that, bro. Because they already started laying the ground line to work. It's gonna take more than 2 more coaches to get that word going. I'm just telling you. It's gonna take more than 2. Cause they like, oh, really? Oh, you wanted to? You mad too. But your boy still got a job. That's it, like, boy still got a job, right? you do know he is working, right? We appreciate you jumping on right now. But you do know the dude that's leading this charge does have a job. And you ask you right now what he got to say. Have you heard from him? Anyway, that's for another time. But getting back to your original point, it comes down to, I think that they're going to really look into it. I don't think Snyder has a lot of wiggle room in regards to this franchise. But he's relevant, man. You can almost do anything as long as you ain't messing with women, talking about people of color. I mean, the women thing is what
he checks that off.
but I'm just saying, you got to, dude. Again, I'm gonna say women because we know what happened down in Florida at the strip mall. I'm just saying, some people walked away from that. So again, you really got to have some real evidence. So it's out there, and they got to do it again. I think that the way they roll with it, unless it's stuff where they just can't run from it. This is how sad it is. You said they are, I'll say this real quickly. They are, they got a target on their back. You can see what's going on, and they right there, they're ready to push through and put them down. But again, they had tapes down in Florida, bro. Tapes. And my man said, we got them. We take them down. My man's like, you didn't see that. No, you didn't. Video tapes, bro. No, you did not see that. And guess what? Nah, but you got charity. You have a charity or something that you want us to contribute to. Who's hurting right now? I'm trying to tell you, bro.
I think the IRS is going to be more important than what happened in Florida.
I think the IRS is going to have something to do with it, but I think the NFL is going to come up with it. Some more teams get tagged with this. Like, we didn't know that was a rule. We didn't know that was possible. It's like, we didn't know.
Right.
Or offer some distraction. Hello, Kaepernick. Offer some distraction to get you away from it.
Dude, but I'm telling you.
Cowboys start quarterback.
Look, I'm telling you. You're right. I agree with you 100%. But at the same time, we know the IRS cut deals all the time, bro. People owe $50,000 in taxes. All of a sudden, they get with the right people. It's like, I only had to pay $2,000. They cut deals all the time, bro. So for as much as I think that they should be about, doing the right thing, deals is cut, bro, when it comes to cash. How much you going to give us straight? Oh, well, we want $500,000. You going to give us $100,000 straight cash today? Yeah, all right, we can work. I'm trying to tell you, bro. This how this country works, bro. I'm trying to tell you. And the one thing the NFL has, and Snyder has too, is straight cash money. They got money to burn, bro. See, and I say this last point. When you own an NFL football team, you don't buy it to get rich. That's an asset, bro. That's just something you use to help your portfolio grow when it comes to your financial portfolio. People don't get that. They're like, oh, he's really into. No, bro, he already rich. As old girl say on that commercial, he rich. I'm just trying to tell you. These are assets, bro. These are assets. All right.
This story should be very interesting as the weeks to come because I don't care what season it is. If NFL is not playing, they always find themselves into the sports news cycle.
They dominate the sports news cycle.
Dominate. You can't get away. That's why they got the network. I mean, all year long, they're the story. Now, Ice, I'm gonna go to you with this story. I knew this was coming. I knew this was coming with Jimbo Fisher and Dabo complaining about the transfer portal. And these are guys that get the majority of the recruits in the country, especially Clemson. And Dabo, I don't care what situation he is, he's always complaining. But you can't grab a young man, tell him he's your guy, you're going to play him, then grab somebody else and then leave him on the bench and expect him not to want to leave your team. So the Fisher and Sweeney have a gripe with the transfer portal.
No, it's great. The only reason why they have a gripe because they can't, especially with allegedly with Dabo, he can't stockpile no more, bro. You know, you get over there, you get the squad, you go with Alabama and other groups, they just be like, okay, well, our top three guys or in our depth chart, they were like the worst that would be a 3-star player, right? So that 3-star player could go to Bowling Green and be like the on top of the world. So they can't stockpile anymore because with the transfer portal, guys are just running and moving. I don't like this today. You pissed me off, I'm gone. So I don't think they have a legitimate gripe. You got to learn how to, believe me, they will learn how to finagle the system. So for as much as they scream about it, you watch what I say. Dabo Sweeney is going to turn around, find him a safety that is mad as hell at somebody else in one of them top programs, and you're not going to hear from him talk about this ever again. That's the game. He's just mad right now because he down on the game. He about to come back up. That's what they do, man. It is that. So you're complaining because you're not playing the game well. But when you learn how to play it, do you hear any complaints from Alabama?
Nope.
Alabama only got Jameis Williams, who couldn't even get on the field at Ohio State. Now he might be the number 2 or number 1 wide receiver picked in the draft. He just needed a year. You got to know how to work the game. They're complaining a little bit. They'll figure it out.
Black, this transfer portal, we talked about it when it first started, and now you got Dabo and Jimbo complaining about it. The Bows are complaining. They're saying this is bad for college football.
Yeah, like they're like cranky old white men, bro. Because realistically, remember for years the NFL talked about parity. College football never talked about. Guess what? College football and college basketball, due to the transfer portal, has parity now. That's what it has basically done. It's allowed these kids to basically move and play around and go to different places and go to schools where they can shine brighter if you're not allowing them to shine at your school. I will say this. I don't think Clemson's coming back as fast as we think they are, bro. I just don't think so. I think people are going to realize that I can't maybe not shine. They're going to leave there. I think that's part of his gripe. He realized in recruiting, he went out there and tried to recruit, and people just ain't basically rolling over to him anymore. I'm going there because I think these younger males have figured out you're not the only pipeline. You in Alabama aren't the only pipeline on getting into the NFL. And they're starting to think different. They're starting to think broadly. So that's part of his problem as well. But he could yell, scream. He can go to foreign breakdance for all I care. They're not changing that, bro. They ain't going back on that. Because to me, college football right now is trying to do everything they can to keep Congress from coming in and saying you got to pay these guys. They got ways to make money off the field. They got ways to transfer. Whatever these young men want to do, let them do. Long as they congressional congressmen and women stay away from our game, they don't care. They're like, right now, let's roll, because they were very close to getting bust wide open, and they know it. So transfer portal, get used to it. It's going to be here for a long time.
Yeah. It's not going anywhere, and these coaches have to adjust. We talked about this a little bit offline, but the sad news of the week is Dwayne Haskins, who was hit last week and lost his life at the age of 24. He was about to turn 25. I'm going to go to you, Ice, because this young fellow was with the Ohio State Buckeyes, set many records there. I saw a touching video of him. He was 7 years old at the University of the Ohio State University. And at 7 years old said, I'm coming here. I'm coming here to play. And to have that focus, to have that drive, you know, despite all the things of his career, it didn't kind of pan out in the NFL the way folks thought it should. And he's still young, and it could have. Your thoughts about Dwayne Haskins?
Yeah, just sad. When I thought about that, man, just truly sad about the loss of life, man, at such a young age. And that's what really hit me. I mean, we were talking about earlier about trying to figure out what happened, what was on his mind, but he was 24, bro. If we'd sit here right now and go, the young man probably thought he at least had at least 25 more years of life, right? Just off the rip. And he had everything. He had the money. I mean, granted, some people are judging because of what his football career was like. Who gives a damn? The dude was rich, bro. He had it. I mean, he made it. He made it. Now, he may not have made it in regards to the career and what people expected from him, but he went to school. He got an education or part of education, and he was able to take care of his family. And you just kind of wonder, what happened, what took place. But the main thing is that it's a tragedy, man, a tragedy of another young man, especially a younger African-American man, gone too soon, bro. Gone. But all that happened is just a life that is just like, wow. And it makes you think, because right before your eyes, for us that are older, it makes you go, wow, nothing's promised, bro. So what I got out the whole thing is, start living your life, man, today. Like it should last, real talk, because you can't tell me he thought at 24 years old that was going to be it. So, man, he rest in peace. Definitely loved by a number of people, his family, definitely beloved in Buckeye Nation, bro, because he came in, he tore it up, put himself in a great position, and, a lot of Buckeye love coming from there, NFL too, but definitely loved in Columbus, and he will never be forgotten.
Yeah. I know Black teammates, folks who played with them, folks who are about to play with them, really like this guy, despite what we hear about the press and him being a Pittsburgh Steeler. I was kind of looking forward to see how he would pan out with Mitch Trubisky coming in, and, the Steelers about to probably draft another quarterback. And I wish, when I heard about it, I'm like, dang, I wish this guy had time to kind of turn it all around and to, do what he did at Ohio State right in the NFL. But your thoughts, man?
Yeah, that is it, man. When you think about it, too, for me, I'm kind of piggybacking some things that I said, but there's a certain part of, I think we all experienced this at some point around that same time at 24. You kind of felt like something you do now, or you may do, the decision you make, it doesn't matter. I got plenty of years ahead of me. So I'm not focusing on tomorrow too much. I'm kind of just basically trying to get the most out I can out right now. And that made it play a part into some of his decision making, some of the things he's done, and even though the way he kind of basically left. So I think, if anything, man, I'm hoping that younger cats realize at that age how precious this gift of life really is. Take it more serious, be more thoughtful about it, understand that, you can be gone in a short period of time. There's no promise that you're going to see 59, my age, your age, 50, whatever, Ice age 50. There's no guarantee, man. So our thought process have to be, as young males, especially Black males, we want to make it to here. And we got to think about what's going to take to make it to here. Granted, he was in a great position. Like you said, he had a chance to go to a school. Think about that. How many young kids at 7 years old can walk onto a college campus that want to play here or want to come here, and then not only go there, be able to go there and basically play football? That's a dream. In a short period of time, he was able to live a dream life, man, a real dream life. So for me, I'm just hoping that if anything comes out of it, basically that other young males stand back and realize, man, life it's a gift. It could be a short gift or a long gift. Value it. Do the best you can to make sure that you live in a full life, but a safe one.
Yeah. Rest in peace, young brother. Before I go on to the NBA, I wanted to talk about, I know Black, I'm not sure if you saw the WNBA draft, and get some thoughts of the WNBA draft that passed by.
I didn't get a chance to focus on it, man. I'm going to say this. I got to kind of get my head right to get back into it, because the WNBA, as much as I want to love it, it lets me down. It does some things. It just kind of, so I got to kind of get my head around, man. And it's like, you got one of our primary stars in Russia for smoking a weed, trying to bring weed to the country. You got Candace Parker's running off doing what she got to do in a wedding dress. So, bro, it's going to take me a little minute. Get my head wrapped back around. I'll get there. But I just couldn't look at the draft. I mean, I know one thing. I was so funny. And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just being honest, man. There was one sister up there. I think she was Spanish. She was standing there with a three-piece men's suit on the draft, bro. And I'm like, damn, where we have come to in this world, bro? I mean, it's just, it is what it is. And that, you know what I said about that before? But for that reason, some other reasons that I kind of mentioned, I didn't pay much attention to it, but I know the season is coming. I'll be prepared. I'll get it popping. We get it rolling. But the draft, nah, I couldn't do it, bro. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're looking at a hurt man right now. He's still hurt, because I thought it was well done. It was 2 hours. They got in, got out. But they're definitely with the dress code. They were marking the territories, who's who, and all that other stuff. There's some good players. Indiana had a lot of draft picks, and they seem like they're rebuilding their team. So we'll get on that when we'll get them some counsel. Because that Candace Parker thing just took both of these young men out. Just took both of them out. Let's go to the NBA and the playing games. Now, I said I wasn't going to watch the playing games, but I finally watched them. And I was watching Minnesota last night with Edwards, and it seemed like the refs, everything. I know you're going to call me conspiracy theory, but it seemed like they were trying to get guys fouled out. They were calling it very aggressive. Cat finally fouls out in the fourth quarter. And they were just ticky-tack fouls. They were just, you can kind of see that they were like, okay, we want this team to advance, this team not to advance. Even in the play-in, just let these guys play and fight it out to get in the playoffs. But Minnesota beat the Clippers. It was a really good game. But that brother Edwards, man, I'm so glad that, the Laker fans are going to be mad, but LeBron is not kind of overshadowing the playoffs, because you need to watch this brother Edwards from Minnesota. He is the next up and coming. Folks aren't talking about this dude, but this dude is nasty. Your thoughts about the play-in? They're having some tonight. They had a couple last night. I thought surely Cleveland could have gotten Brooklyn, but just didn't play smart down the stretch. And I'm not hating on Brooklyn. I just thought, because Brooklyn had the game, but you got Kyrie and KD scoring 59 points. You don't have a bench. You're not playing defense, and you let Cleveland right back in the game, and they almost took it. If you can let Rondo come down the lane and lay it up, you ain't got no defense. I'm sorry you don't.
All I know is at the end of the day, he got that W, bro, moving on. Yeah. It's not pretty. I'm not going to back him like that. Like I said, it's crazy. But playing games last night, I like Minnesota. I said that before. Cat is playing. He got the new girlfriend and kind of changed his life around, and just doing a lot of different things. So he's playing well. Edwards too. And also when Mr. Russell gets going, they're a good team. Patrick Beverly's over there too, isn't he?
Yeah, they tried to foul him out last night.
Yeah, Patrick Beverly he's a tough dude, and he's going to help them along the way. I'm not sure how far they go, but I was impressed by that. Brooklyn, Cleveland's a good team. They're young, but Brooklyn is like, okay, we're going to play for a little bit. We're not going, we don't have it all together, but we just need to advance. So it's going to be interesting with them as they move forward, because they play Boston next. So that's going to be interesting there too. And you got a lot of teams. Like tonight, you have, was it Atlanta and Dallas?
Yeah, Atlanta and Charlotte, and then
San Antonio, and
you have the Pelicans versus San Antonio.
Yeah. So, but you just have to watch out, because with these playing teams, you just have to watch out what's going on. So with Minnesota, who they'll play? Will they play Memphis?
Yeah, they play Memphis.
Yeah, I'm watching that.
That's going to be a good series. Yeah,
I'm watching that very closely. And Boston and Brooklyn is going to be good too. So I'm looking for that. And I think another one with whoever Denver's playing. But it's so wide open because LeBron's not there. No Lakers. Could be no Clippers here in a minute, or Clippers may not make it. But I think it's a lot more wide open than people think. I know the proverbial favorite right now is Milwaukee, because they won it before, but I think it's a little bit more wide open. And I'm just going to be watching Philadelphia very closely since they're going for a championship. Anyway, it's a lot of teams. I need to see Phoenix too. I want to see what Phoenix is going to do, because now you have the number one seed. I want to see what you're going to do. I want to see what Miami does. But I think it's a lot more wide open than people think. I don't think there's a prohibited favorite. If it will be, just because it's Milwaukee, because they've done it before. But I think the thing that might heal Milwaukee, and it's not that they may not be the best team, but I think it's the factor that they're not hungry anymore. They won it already. They won it. They don't have the hunger. They can still win it. I grant you that, but I'm not sure they had the hunger, and another team possibly can get them. So we'll see. I love it. I love the playing game because you got to still play. People like, oh, I don't see no need for it. Okay, don't. I think it puts pressure on teams, and if you don't want it, then guess what? You go home. You go home. That's how it should be. I think that makes it more exciting to me because you already have a bunch of guys who people think are overpaid and not earning their money because they don't play hard in the regular season. So why not in the playoffs have a playing game? If you play like doo-doo and you don't have a good night that night, guess what? You go home. To me, that's the beautiful thing about basketball, like the NCAA tournament. Your team have a bad game, it's a wrap. So why not have the same thing with the challenge in the NBA?
So the Clippers are at home, Black, and the Cleveland Cavaliers are at home. And I'm thinking whoever wins out of this Atlanta and Charlotte series, I don't know if Miami, I'm really not confident Miami can beat these teams in a 7-game series if these guys get hot and they really want to win in advance. So you may see the number 1 seed in the East, the Miami Heat, going out. And I don't know if they have cured all their ailments as far as arguing, playing as a team, and being as one. Phoenix, they're fine. Whoever wins against the Pelicans and San Antonio, it's just going to be practice for them to get to the second round. Your thoughts on the play-in and the playoffs?
I love the play-ins, man. I'll be straightforward and honest. If it wasn't for the play-ins, I probably would have watched Minnesota last night, bro. I watched and paid attention. And again, like you said, there's some talent out there that you don't get a chance to kind of pay attention or focus on during the regular season because they're slamming you with the Lakers all year when you don't want to watch other teams. So that was good to see. Excuse me. I do think Miami will get out of the first round. But I will say this about the NBA. I love the play-in. But I think, again, I'll say this again. If they really want to spike it up more, make the first round best of 5, bro. Make it best of 5. Give the team that basically played in to win, give them an easier road to kind of basically win that series. And you want to see some fights, some dogs going after it, there it is. And then you kind of take a little bit of air out of the team that may be the higher seed because they got to really show up and kind of play. They can't take anything off in a 7-game series. I would like that a lot. I do want to see what Denver comes out and do. You know, Djokovic has carried that team the entire season. What's going on with there? I also want to see Philadelphia. I want to see Philadelphia handle it. You know, I do also believe that Milwaukee is going to be there when it's all said and done. Milwaukee and Phoenix will go at it again. I got Milwaukee winning, but in the meantime, I want to see some good basketball play. I think Boston's coming along. I know they lost their center. I want to see how this new coach basically gets them in and what they do in the playoffs. And I hate to kind of throw this out there, but Pop, let this be the last year, bro. You've done enough. Let someone else come in, go upstairs. Look at what they did in Arizona with that head coach there. Do what you got to do. Step in, become a senior consultant. Find. I would hope it would have been, Becky Hammond, but she's going now. Find another woman if you have to. Put her in there to step aside, bro.
Yeah, it should be interesting. Like I said, I'm a little shaky with Miami. I'm not sure. They're the number 1 seed. They barely held on to that for the regular season. And I'm not sure. I got to see them in a game against these two teams. You got LaMelo Ball, and then you have Trae Young, who are game and want to go farther in the playoffs. I think it's the first time if Charlotte can come back and win. They're down by 12 now. It'll be their first time getting in the playoffs in a while, a long while now. So it should be interesting to see who wins tonight and how the seedings are paired and who wins after that. There was another story, Black, and I really didn't get too much into it. Yeah, Cam Newton. You sent the story about Cam Newton.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
I want to touch upon that. What was the situation with Cam Newton?
Well, Cam Newton basically he was on a podcast. I think it was Sunday. I can't even think of the podcast, but for somehow the conversation went towards women, and he was basically saying that his parents were married for 36 years. He was raised by his father. His father's raised his life, his mother, and his grandmother. And he said that a lot of these women out here now call themselves bad bitches, bad whatever. And he said to him, a bad bitch, he ain't saying, he didn't want to kind of use the word bitch, but that's what they call themselves, so he'll go with it. He said to him, a bad bitch is a woman that basically can care for herself, at the same time, understands how to be with the man, nurture a man, and know when to be quiet. And basically, he kind of touched up the firestorm, but realistically, when I came across this on a radio show hosted by a woman. And she was like, she saw nothing wrong with it. And there's a lot of women that saw nothing wrong with what he's saying. And ironically, the NFL basically ran to him because, he's still kind of associated with NFL. And I guess he's trying to get back in and I guess they told me he'd apologize. So he came back and he apologized. But at the end of the day, we're going to talk about this on Sunday, man. To me, if you say something that you believe in, I understand for him, the political correct thing to do, part of his associate NFL, apologize to someone's feelings, but there's a lot of truth to what he said, bro. A lot of truth. And a lot of times the truth hurts. It's not like he said, put the woman in the kitchen pregnant and barefoot and naked. No, that's thing. He's just basically saying that sometimes you need to know when to be quiet. And ain't nothing that we probably ain't said on the show. It's just that Cam Newton is saying it. And the thing is, it kind of, to me, sometimes too, when you say things about women in general, they take it like you trying to bring them back to the dark days or whatever the case may be. Listen to what he's saying first. And then if you disagree, you disagree. But don't act like he's attacking every woman and he's trying to basically come off as a sexist. He's talking about there's a certain class of women out there, class of women that carry themselves this way, and they think they want to just roll around and act like, with their attitude, whatever they do for a living, make them a boss bitch. And I forgot also, he said, you can't cook. I forgot he said that. You can't cook. He said, you can't. I forgot he said that. And that's about, 80% of women out here these days?
Yeah, this show will be banned after a while.
Yeah, so, he dropped that out there. Yeah. And that's worse than saying, you don't know when to be quiet. You say you can't cook. It might be true. It's like one of those things, that's like telling your girlfriend she's fat. She can be fat.
Right, one is strike two right there.
Exactly. But if she asks if she's fat, you got to tell her, no, you ain't fat. It's one of those type of things.
I actually want any of this. I just shaking his hand like that.
I mean, for a lot of people, that goes back to what they consider traditional values, right? That's how it was for a lot of men. That's how it worked. And some women still follow that. They don't talk about it. But now we have the modern, more independent woman that makes her own money, does what she does, and doesn't need a man. As many times we've been told that by several women. And that's the prerogative. And you can do what you want to do, but at the same time, apparently that's his life. So if you ask him, he said what he felt, right? It's not hurting anybody. But then again, it's like, as Black Thor said, it's almost as if he's attacking all women. No, he's not. He lives a certain kind of way. You like it or you don't. But then again, it's a situation where that's how it is. But for him having to apologize, he knows where his checks are, whose checks he's cashing. And granted, you can stand up, be a man all you want to, but you need them checks. You do what you got to do. What's a little policy? You still got that money rolling in, bro. At the end of the day, it's all about the check, bro. I mean, I understand you could be really badass at one of his cigar lounges down the ATL. You can talk all the shit you want to. But when you out in front, you got to get that check, bro. You got to keep them lights on and stay off of Cobra. Anyway, that's how we roll.
All right. The Major League Baseball report with Ice Water. And I've been checking out some baseball. I had to watch the Boston-New York series, the first of the year. Black always says that it seems like Boston and New York play every week. And, almost. So let you have it, sir.
Yeah, just real quick. I mean, a lot going on. It's still real early. People only play teams have only played 5 games. Tampa Bay looks real good already. The Cleveland Commanders.
I thought it was the Guardians.
Guardians, Commanders, same thing. Commanders, Guardians, whatever.
Stupid name. God.
Anyway, man, I see you got me confused. I was ready to say something else. So Commanders, Guardians. That team in Cleveland is playing well right now. They've been defeating the Reds. Houston is up in their division. The Mets are doing real well. They have a lot of talent coming on. Tampa Bay is looking well early on too. St. Louis is playing well, but it's wide open. We're not going to waste too much time on this because, like I said, after 5 games, you can't tell anybody too much. Except one of my friends that's a Cleveland fan. He's all excited. Oh, they leading their division. I was like, dude, it's 5.
Well, actually, Chicago's leading. I guess they're 3-1, and Cleveland is 4-2.
4-2. Well, you do the math, bro. I'm just saying right now, it's like I say all the time. They don't serve no damn trophies. in the regular season after 5 games. They look, actually, since they have messed up because of the pandemic and they were locked out, you might as well consider this to be spring training. So how can you get excited about that? They 5 games in. Only thing I'm excited about is my guy's back and he's looking well, doing well. I think he had a home run already. And he pitched. He did a magnificent thing with the Angels. He pitched and he started with the starting pitcher, and then he was a leadoff batter.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about Mr. Ohtani, who is like the monster of this league right now. He pitched, I think he had a home run in the first game and had 9 strikeouts. He's like the darling of baseball right now. If you have not seen him.
Commercials too. Yeah,
you need to check him out, bro. He's that damn good. I like watching him. I'm glad that he has an international presence. But then now people still talking about, wait, we don't understand him because of he ain't got to say a damn word. Just play baseball, bro. I don't need to hear from him. I really don't. I'm serious. I don't. I just need to see him play baseball.
Yeah, he's speaking some English phrases in commercials, so he's making money that way too. Here's what I want to ask you about the Cleveland Guardians. Do you think they picked such a bad name that people are going to petition them to go back to the Indians? Because where did the Guardians come from? I was like, I'm looking at the scroll on TV. I'm like, the Guardians? Who the hell are the Guardians? And I forgot that they changed their name from the Indians to the Guardians. And I'm like, maybe they picked such a bad name that people are like, you know what? This is one of the worst names ever. And let's just go back to the Indians until we find another name.
No, I think it's quite the contrary. The Indians are something, especially with Chihuahua, with the big smile and all that stuff, and the way some people thought it was so devastating and detrimental in the way that they treated a certain group of people or class or race of people, that it was so bad to some people that they just did the opposite. They went and got the worst thing. You don't even know what the hell a Guardian is, right? I mean, you don't know what that is. So that being said, they did just the opposite. Nobody cares what the name is. We got a team. So as much as the team from Cleveland or people from Cleveland may want to see it, how about winning some ball games, bro? We'll know who the Guardians are then, right?
Yeah.
Win some ball games. I mean, they kill me with all this stuff. So you mean to tell me in Cleveland, Ohio, it's like the Browns, if they put the Guardians information or their name, the logo on top of it, and whatever they come up with, they're not going to buy shirts. Man, please. See,
if I was a New Orleans fan with basketball, ain't no way I'm putting Pelicans on the front of my shirt. I'm not doing it.
Okay, this is Cleveland. This ain't New Orleans. New Orleans, the last time they won anything. Anyway,
yeah,
so let's say this. This is Cleveland. They've been dying for somebody to do something. So if their team start winning, let's say they go to the World Series, and then like, well, it's the Guardians. I'm not gonna buy it. Man, please. This is like Deshaun Watson. You know, everybody looking at, we ain't gonna watch the games. Let them up make the Super Bowl. Oh my God. Well, he's repented. He's come full circle. He's doing things in the community. He's done some things in the helping women programs and all this. Man, just want to win. They desperate. Fans want to see winners. And unless you do something totally crazy or whatever, like this thing with this team, you watch. Let them make the playoffs and let them make the World Series. You'll be seeing people with styling with their little brims to the side, people drinking beer. Man, fans are so damn fickle, most of them, man. They just want to win.
I'm waiting for Black to bring that Kansas Jayhawk T-shirt out.
I told Puma, I got the Sears catalog. I'm gonna send you one in the mail.
First question, Black.
It's interesting, man, because right now the Lakers fired their head coach, and I just read a story where there's a player on that team is pushing for Mark Jackson to become the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. What percentage do you think that might come to pass?
Ooh, Ice.
Well, at least LeBron has acknowledged it. So that give you 10% right there. LeBron said, you know what? I don't know. I just don't know. And I think the only way I say I don't know is because I'm going to give it 25%, right? And I'm going to give it to you because LeBron said so and whatever. but only 25% is because of the factor that Mark Jackson has already said he's gonna still be the man that he is, and that ain't gonna work, bro. Ain't nobody. I mean, I'm just saying for real. I mean, when you use your personal views and you try to put it on front of people and you stand by that, I'm not sure people will be taken to it, because first you're a basketball coach first, right? And then your personal views, you want to kind of work them in a little bit. But when you become overbearing with your beliefs, not saying you have to change who you are, but you are there to coach basketball, and these are grown men. And I think that's going to kind of get in the way. I think it's gotten in the way for a long time. I also know that they said that he's a possibly candidate for the Sacramento job. But I think if he's can get out of his way, and not so much that he forgets leaves his faith alone, but focuses more on coaching basketball, there's a chance we can get a shot. Plus, two, he got to be on point with LeBron, bro. He got to be on point with AD. He got to make people feel comfortable. And if he's not willing to do that, he'll be back talking about, mama, there go that man. He still be talking. He'll be sticking his face. I'm just saying. That's how I think that's going to go down. So 25% because of LeBron.
I'm going to go higher than that. I'm going to go 35 to 40%. Mark Jackson going to be on the sidelines with the Lakers. Wow. This is a circus, bro. And what better way to kind of just burn this to the ground than putting Mark Jackson at the head and letting the Lakers be the Lakers. They threw Fogel under the bus so hard. And I'm sitting there like listening to Westbrook. I'm like, he ain't missed all them 3-pointers. He ain't turned the ball over. He couldn't, he tried to get you in. He took me, I don't know what it is about him. You ain't effective in the fourth quarter. So you're blaming the coach on all the stuff that we saw that you did. The coach ain't tell you to do all that stuff. So it would make perfect sense for them to get Mark Jackson. So maybe him and LeBron got this understanding, like, let me do what I do, you do what you do, and we go win another championship. I saw what you did with Golden State, blah, 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 and you the guy. I give it 35 to 45% that 45? Mark Jackson will be walking. 45% that Mark Jackson will be the coach of the Lakers. I mean, it's showtime. It's showtime. It's about that flash. That's what it's been about for the last few seasons for the Lakers since LeBron been there. Cater to him. Mike Pelinka up there talking about, LeBron's going to have some input. Man, you ain't been doing your job, man. He going to have some input, but I make the final call. Whatever, man. It's showtime. It's the Lakers. They're looking at contracts. Mark Jackson's been on TV, did the NBA for years. It's kind of like a marriage made in heaven. Here we go. Black?
No, man, I'm going to say 5%, bro. 5%. There's a push. There's a push now in certain circles of the media to give Mark Jackson a job. It started with Shannon Sharp. He was talking about it. And then Shannon Sharp had a podcast. He brought him on. And this is where Mark Jackson could have really helped himself. He went on there, and Shannon Sharp doing softballs. No, you haven't been interviewed in so many years. What he didn't ask him why you think that is. He was like, you haven't been interviewed. Yeah, I can still coach. I don't know what, I didn't do anything. If you talk to certain people, the people that I coach with, they would say this and that. And it's like, no, you need to address what the stories is, bro. Come out there and basically say what's going on. Mark Jackson act like he did nothing wrong. Trust me. There's a litany of stuff you did wrong in Golden State, Mark Jackson, and it is. And like I said, you haven't changed nothing. But guess what? The times have changed. There are gay basketball players in the NBA right now. Mark Jackson's not going to be able to handle that. He's not, man. It's just he wants to go in and be Reverend Mark Jackson. And trust me, you talk about Showtime? Ain't nothing about that Showtime, bro. Ain't nothing about that. Jenny Buss is not going to have that. She's about business. Now, she may not want to win, but she wants to make money. You put Mark Jackson up there, bro? No. And I agree with you about Westbrook. How you going to – I saw when he said that. I don't know what he had. What he had against you.
You losing basketball games. That's what he had against you.
Yes. I've never heard anything more dumber in my life. When he said what he had against – bro, you can't – in the fourth quarter, you turn the ball over like 20 times. What do you think he's supposed to do? Take you out of the game? But no, I just think that, to me, for Mark Jackson, part of the reason why, to me, the biggest reason why he hasn't gotten another interview for a job, I don't care who it is, bro. I don't think anybody's gonna allow him back in. He hasn't humbled himself. For to be the religious man that he is and all that, blah, 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 blah. When you listen to him talk, there's no humility. Nothing. I was there with this team when they had this. Yes, Mark. But you forgot. You sent one of your ACs, sent one of your assistant coaches down to the G League because you can get along with them. And I'll just read it there. He didn't get along with management. He didn't get along with the general manager. Jerry wasn't. He got along with no one. You think they all forgot that? Because they ain't come to your church and pay tithes? I'm just being honest, bro. This is a small league at the same time as a big league. So no, he's not coming back. I don't care if LeBron basically hires himself. It's not happening. It's just not going to happen. I mean, and I'm going to say this with sincere straightforwardness. Look at Mark Jackson. Look at Adam Silver. I'll leave it there.
Yeah.
I'll leave it there.
Good
you
point.
fill in the blank.
Good point. Ice?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask my question, but I just want the one last thing on that. When you mentioned about his religion and whatnot, and think Black Thor hit it right on point. When you in Golden State, and the situation was the man has clearly been the general manager guy in the front office clearly come out as being gay, man. And then you got your opinions about that or convictions, and you can't do your job because you have so many strong morals. And I'm like you said, to go somewhere else, who's going to accept that? They're going to have to put in this, and I'm trying to be on. This is a joke too. Let me tell y'all first of all, this is a joke. Ha ha ha. So we got to put in this clause that he would not hold Bible study during the week at the Laker facilities. I'm just giving it 100. Anyway, but my question is, LSU men's basketball team fired their coach Will Wade not too long ago, and all 11 scholarship players transferred, left, whatever, exited the building. And they hired a new coach. How in the hell are you supposed to rebuild when every last player that was on the squad left, including Shaq's son? All 11 players left.
Black?
Wow. Again, man, these players have power now, bro. I ain't mad at them. I mean, if this the guy they came in, I'm not sure why they fired the coach, but if this the guy that recruited these young men, brought them to the school, who they wanted to play for and be around, they have the right to do what they need to do, bro. They need to be in a place where they're comfortable with him. They're not comfortable with this new coach coming in. They don't know what to expect. More power to them, man.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough job for them, but usually they leave something in the cupboard to you work with until you get your team. Now it's got to be your team. You got to recruit and get the folks that, and now you're playing catch up because a lot of these players have already signed and still delivered to go to different teams. So it's going to be really kind of interesting to see LSU basketball and how he's able to recover from this. But I've never heard that before in my entire life. I've heard of some players, maybe as many as 3 or 4 or 5 leave, but all 11 leave. Wow, that's going to be. He better hire a staff real quick, get on the dime, and get some players in there because the basketball season is not going to postpone. He don't have enough players to play for him. Ice.
Yeah, and what's crazy about it is this is in one of the top conferences in the country, right? SEC, yeah. LSU, and they got a bunch of cash and all that too. And wow, he should call me. I definitely got an eye for talent. I can help you, bro. I can help you. I can go around the country like that dude right there. That guy. What's your grades look like? You only gonna be here for 8 months. Let's go. Anyway, gotta keep 100, bro. You gotta know you KYB. You gotta know your personnel. But it's gonna be a major a task. But there's some good players out there that really have not had a chance. Yeah, especially with the transfer. But you just gotta do your due diligence because a lot of kids are coming out and they want to play right away. So I would look at it. I can only imagine as a head coach that's seeking a brand new opportunity. You come to the office. It's like, you gonna call practice or we gonna have a meeting with the players? And the assistant coach like, it's just us, coach. There ain't no players. You're like, what? And you got to go back to the AD and you got to talk about, we got too much money in the budget now because we don't have nobody to spend no money on for per diems and dude, it's a lot. So you better get to work. Call me. I got you.
Yeah. Black, you got another question?
Yeah, man. There was a story that came out. Well, we I guess, the woman that did the third base first or third base in a sense. The first woman that basically
Alyssa Necken.
Yeah, congratulations to her. Good move. How she got there. I was reading a story about her, how she worked herself up. I mean, kudos there. But another story came out after her doing that. What was kind of interesting, and I wanted to throw it out to this gentleman. The guy that she replaced was a brother. I guess he got ejected out of the game. In a sense, he started arguing with the San Diego Padres coach. And he said the guy said some things that had some racist overtones. So I'm going to say this to you. You tell me, is he on point with this or he kind of missed the mark? He said the guy said to him twice, or he just said to him, he said to someone that was like between him and the other coach, get that motherfucker out of here. Keep that motherfucker away from me.
Ice?
Where's the racism at?
Oh, no.
Last time I checked,
my response to it. Yeah.
The last time I checked, I know a lot of people of color use that word motherfucker often, but we don't own it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's not like the N word. We don't own it, right? It's not. I know it's a lot. We do. A lot of our folks use it, but to feel some kind of way, unless he was scarred as a child because he was called a little motherfucker or something like that. He might have been scarred as a child, but we don't own it. I thought you was gonna say something differently.
Yeah,
I thought you was gonna say a different word, but no, I don't see the racist overtones in there because in all of the movies and all the other stuff, you've seen different people from Italian or whatever say this mother. I mean, it depends on the accent. It's a worldwide used word, right? Different cultures, all kind of people use it. So I'm thinking the gentleman had some type of experience that scarred him, which is why he thought it was a racial overtone. Maybe somebody in his life was using that word and he felt like it's kind of connected to his hue. So I don't know. I'm lost on that one.
I don't know. My response to that would be, if he called me that, I'm like, yeah, and your mother is next. I'll give him that response, right? But then no, there's no racial overtones to that. I just think he got in his feelings, man. I don't know what's up with this generation, man, where these little words, man, just you get up all in your feelings about stuff, man. I don't get it. I really don't get. I have nothing, man. I have nothing on this, Black. So you need to take it away, man.
I think Ice might have for maybe something that flashed him back. Something. I'm like, bro, to me, that's a start to a good argument right there. What's racial about that? I'm like, okay, I mean, I don't know, maybe like you said, it's a different time, whatever. But I think in this cat, I mean, I do believe maybe something may have been scarred previously, but I think also too, because the white guy was saying it to him, he was looking for it to be racial. It's not necessarily racial, but because he was saying it, he probably was really suggestive with it. You took it that way. But my thing, like you said, Boom, is like when someone gives you something, you give it back.
Yeah.
You take the hit, you throw your jabs. You don't basically run with the hit and go, oh well, and that's that sensitivity that's out there now for the most part. I mean, my thing is we came up as basically we said things that hurt your feelings, then we played with you later. That's how it was for the most part.
It's like none of these dudes have ever played on the playground, never did any trash talking. It's like, wow, it's like, it boggles my mind how weak this generation is when it comes to stuff like this, and they get all in their feelings about this. Like I said, my basic response would be, yep, your mother is next. That's who I am. Your mother is next, and that's going to be the start of the argument or the fight, and I'm going to get kicked out for a reason. And you calling me? Aisha, got another question?
Yeah, I want to say something real quick. When you said that, the first thing I thought was that song, You Need a Man with Sensitivity.
Yeah, Ralph Tresvant.
Anyway, my question is, I was looking at something as far as the numbers and everything with the Final Four or whatnot, Final Four. And apparently when Duke was in the Final Four, the tickets for the final game were ranging between like $1,300 to like maybe the low end, maybe between $200. And then when Duke lost, and then it was Kansas and North Carolina, they were saying that the day of the game, tickets were low as $30 to get in. $30 to walk into the building after Duke had lost. Your thoughts?
Black?
I can understand that because realistically, if you don't have a team in the Final Four or the championship game, you really want to be there? I mean, let's just get real. For the most part, if you're a Duke, I mean, if you're a North Carolina fan, North Carolina fans probably wasn't prepared to travel knowing that their team was going to be there. Same thing with Kansas. I don't think so. You're trying basically now at this point to fill the seats. You're trying to drop the price down. I understand the price for Duke because Duke fans around the world, I mean, they got Duke fans around the country, basically wanted to basically be there for Coach K's last game or some of his last games. So I get that. So you had that demand, which drove the price up. But no, I'm not surprised because, you know, you don't know who's going to be in the championship game. So at the last minute, you figure that weekend again, you had Kansas, you had Carolina. You didn't know until 2 days before that they're going to play each other. So my point is, if you're a Carolina or a Kansas fan, let's say you're in New York City, you got to get a flight. You got to do all this to get there, spend $30. It doesn't give you time enough to kind of get there. Where if you had a week maybe to plan or something like that, I think it'll be a little different. But with 2 nights to go, no, I'm to me that's kind of like the technical part behind it. So it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I remember there was a Jay-Z Beyonce concert here a few years ago, and the prices were outrageous for the first night. And I'm not sure they packed it in. So for the second night, they lowered those prices. They were on the air, radio waves, trying to get rid of these tickets because I guess they were thinking people were going to pay these outrageous prices for these tickets to see them coming in the show. And folks were like, no, I'd rather just listen to the music at home. So with basketball, I think they were anticipating Coach K's last game and him going for a championship. And like I said, I'm a Carolina fan. I was surprised that Carolina was even in the championship game and even in the Final Four, it even lasted this long. So yeah, to kind of plan things now, not knowing that your team is going to be in, and now you got to sell tickets for, you know, from the Final Four to the championship game, you know, where I heard the prices were outrageous for the tournament games leading up to this. I'm not surprised that the prices went down to fill the stadium so that you look like you had a big crowd going into this championship game. So, but I was trying to look for while Black was talking, some of the prices and Cameron when North Carolina played Duke for that last game, and those prices were just insane. They were insane. They knew it was going to be nationally televised. They knew it was going to be a big event. It was supposed to be the coordination of Coach K winning the last game at Cameron, and it didn't happen against North Carolina, their rival, and it didn't happen. So maybe all those things had an impact on it. Maybe people just didn't want to see Kansas and North Carolina, thinking that Kansas would just beat North Carolina and that would be it. So maybe it wasn't that much excitement for this championship game. Ice?
$30, though.
Yeah, that's
$30.
I wish,
dude. If that was in my city,
yeah,
I went to the cars just to be in attendance, bro. Just because.
But real quick, was that game held in New Orleans?
Yeah.
That's part of the reason too, bro. New Orleans is poverty. It's cheap, bro. They don't make no money down there.
I'm with you for $30, bro. $30, man. I mean, that's, bro. I mean, that's like going to the Super Bowl. I mean, I know that's totally different, but $30, that's just super daggone cheap. I don't know. I guess, like you said, there's not a lot going on, or people maybe not been into the game like that. But how could you not just want to walk in? Like, that's one of those things you like, if you knew ahead of time, like, oh, Puma, what's up, man? Get this flight, bro. We're gonna go. That's one you take a flight and you jump on the plane the next day, right? And go to the game and fly back, bro. Seriously, because $30, man. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
You got those flight prices. You ain't doing that, my brother. Right now? Woo!
Yeah, they're trying to make up for lost time.
Sure.
Yeah. Last second shot, Black.
Woo! It's interesting, man, because I think I sent you guys this story too, and I found it to be very interesting that before Tom Brady decided to come back and play for the Arizona Cardinals, actually, he was working this deal out during the regular season before the playoffs even kicked in. He was talking to the Miami Dolphins about joining their team, playing, become part ownership. I said this before. black players got to realize when you have leverage, you got to use it. He's using his leverage, bro. He's moving on. At some point, if the Miami that didn't work out, he's going to find ownership somewhere. It might be even Tampa Bay. When you sit down through these contracts, get your money, but ask for more. All they can say is no. Just don't always be the show. Own the show.
Yeah, and he was going to bring Sean Payton, the coach.
Yes.
Down there. That's what I read. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ice, last second shot.
Yeah, I was going to talk about Kaepernick because it's a circus, but I'm not going to even talk about that right now. I'm like, every time you turn around, it's like, woo. But no, I'm going to talk about Kaepernick. I'm sitting there thinking to myself, how in the world, every time you turn around, it's like he's at some spring game, he's showing off his skills. It's like maybe he doesn't mind that. Maybe he's thinking one day somebody gonna magically do that, let him in the league again. But it's just sad, bro, for me to watch this man go around and people like, well, we talked to him a little bit and he's throwing passes to the receivers and maybe we wanted to take a chance, but we couldn't have a discussion. It's like going on. It's just sad. I'm glad he's in a different place. He's in a different place. He's in a different situation in his life. But if I hear one more time where he's talking about making a comeback and he getting all ready, he's in the best shape, dude, come on, bro. Come on. It's almost like watching Tiger Woods do what he did on Sunday, like during the week. Dude, come on, man. Let it go, bro.
That's over. I'm glad that's over.
Let it go. Let it go. Because I'm sitting there going like,
who won? Who won the Masters? Because I don't know who won.
That's what I'm saying. They don't treat like what he wanted.
The dude, what was his name? 2 S's is his name.
You don't even know his name. See,
but it's just the point of it is I watch Tiger, and I don't want to take it too long. Watch him hobble, man. It's like, dude, you can't walk. He's like, well, I felt good. I'm going to the Open. What? The Senior Open? And you can use the card. The hell, man.
Yeah, I don't even know who won. It was Tiger Specials before the play. Yes. It was Tiger this. It was Tiger. They
say this.
He's the cash cow for them.
The number one player in the world won.
Yeah. You don't even know his name. Can I say something real quick about that Kaepernick thing? I don't understand Kaepernick from this point strongly. The NFL paid you to go away. You think they're going to bring you back in? Or are you going to give them money that they gave you to go away? I mean, it's like he's lost all of his business acumen. He doesn't understand. They don't want you. They don't. It's a closed-off conversation, a closed-off group. They can talk about you nicely in Seattle, but as a unit, they basically paid you to go away. Now, unless you're going to give them that money back, because you claim they blackballed you, I'm not saying they didn't, but let's just look at it from a legal standpoint. How are they going to pay you, and then 5 years later, you come back? So to me, I mean, I love the brother. Don't get me wrong. He don't know what to do with himself. I think he did his Netflix thing, did all that stuff. He's at a loss for life. Not catfish. Colin, go find something else to do, bro. You can go speak around the world and make money. That's all you have to do. They'll probably pay you $200,000-$300,000 just to show up. Pick your afro, go make it, bro. Give up on hope of NFL. It's done. It's done. They're not paying you again. Leave it alone.
My last section, I have 2. Baker Mayfield, be quiet. Be quiet. You are hurting yourself in the end. Just be quiet. Sometimes you got to know just when to be quiet. Nobody wants to hear your story, your sob story, on how you didn't succeed with Cleveland Browns and you have 4. Quiet. And then there was a question, maybe we can handle it on another show. If Warren Moon was able to play, when he won all those championships in Canada, instead been able to play in the NFL, would we be talking about Warren Moon as one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play in the NFL? Just a rhetorical question. Just think about that. That's our show. We'll be back with the fight game. Welcome to the fight game with Puma and Ice Water. We're going to cover some of the fights that happened last weekend, and then we have some great fights coming up this weekend. And you had Togu and Garcia winning in a unanimous decision in the lightweight division. What did you think about that fight?
Yeah, a lot of build up on him because it was return of Ryan Garcia, right? And people wanted to see him because a lot of people think he's the second coming or whatever. He's a young fighter who made a comeback. Togu is a veteran, tried to do a little things, but he stayed away from Garcia and had people saying and Garcia saying that he ran. Togu got knocked down, but he's been a crafty veteran. So Ryan Garcia really didn't look great. He needs a little more work. He seems like he had a lot of rust on him, even though he won the fight. But I think he has a long way to go before they talk a great game. He and Oscar De La Hoya and the other folks that are backing him, but he needs a lot of work in order for him to kind of rise up and challenge some of the better talent in those divisions that he's looking at, because he just kind of looked like he was a work in progress.
All right, Golovkin and Murata. Golovkin gets away with a 9th round TKO in that particular fight. A lot of people are saying that, that this guy, Golovkin, is still the guy to fight Canelo and all this other stuff, but he's 40 years old now, I believe. So does he have anything left in the tank?
He has something left, but what we found out was with his footwork has changed. He's 40 years old. Footwork wasn't as great as it used to be. At times he seemed a step slow as far as even from the point of his reaction time. And Murata was trying to throw some punches back. He just didn't look as sharp as normal. He looked a little old. I mean, Gennady Golovkin did do enough, and he was impressive enough to win the fight. But of course, in this fight, they were looking at his performance as a way to perhaps gauge what it might be like if he faces Canelo next. And if we base his last performance, what he's going to do in the future, use that as a barometer, it's going to be short work.
I don't see it.
He looks older. He looks a lot older, but he won. But he looks a lot older.
Yeah, there was another fight. I know I didn't see this fight. Rosado versus Shane Mosley Jr. Shane Mosley Jr. wins it a decision. But the fight that I know you and I were texting back and forth over in Las Vegas last week was Lubin and Fedora. And I always felt that Lubin needed to work the body a little bit more. Mm-hmm. And he was headhunting most of the fight, got knocked down, had Fedora hurt in some of the later rounds. And I kind of felt that, he just didn't go to the body enough. And then Fedora just finished him off where his corner, Lubin's corner, I'm speaking of, just called a foul. I think he broke his jaw, I believe.
Jaw, I think he broke his nose too.
Nose too, yeah. And so he was taking a lot of punishment. And I thought it was good that he was putting his head in his chest when Fedora was not using his reach to his advantage. And last week I misspoke. I got some record that Lubin's reach was a little bit longer, so I apologize for that. But it just seemed like Fedora wasn't using his reach, and he was slugging it out with Lubin. I thought that was a mistake, but it worked out for him in the long run because he got a 9th round TKO.
Yeah, well, Fedora is a different kind of guy, man. It's a different creature from the standpoint of usually taller guys stand back and use the jab and they punch to kind of get around so they can deliver a stronger right hand or left hand, whatever it may be. But he does the opposite. He likes to bang inside. So he gets inside with a smaller guy and he gets chest to chest and he has a wicked uppercut. And that's what he was able to touch Lubin with. But the biggest issue for me in this fight for Lubin was the factor that his corner came up with a game plan. And the game plan was for him to box and stay away and to punch and make Fedora come forward, right? So you wait, you score, you move around, you're more mobile, and you kind of wait it out. And then if you have to engage, you do that. But Lubin from the beginning started out and went chest to chest, as you mentioned, and tried to start a war. You played right into what Fedora likes to do, and I think that hurt him. So he just scrapped his corner's game plan, threw it right out the window. In fact, his coach, Carmichael, was asking him, what are you doing? What are you doing? And once he got in it, he couldn't get out of it. And while he may have a better skill set than Fedora, one thing Fedora does, he's young, he's talented, and he wasn't going anywhere. He stayed right in the pocket. And after a while, he started to literally disfigure Lubin. Literally, you could just see his face just kind of caving in. And he was hitting him with some wicked shots, particularly, like I said, those uppercuts in the body. And I thought that Lubin, particularly after his loss to Jamel Charlo, where he got knocked out in the first round, would be more cautious. If he took a more cautious approach and had a different strategy, which is Conor told him to do, I think he would have been better off. And maybe to the point where if he had fought that way, then he engaged like maybe fifth round, we're into a brawl or whatever he was doing, he might have had the energy to win the fight. He was so spent when he did get the knockdown, he couldn't finish. Yeah, he had no energy. He had lost everything because he was fighting the whole way, the wrong way, style-wise. And I think he did himself a disservice. So I think he thought he was going to be next up for the title shot after Estrada and, after they get done with Jamel Charlo's next fight. But now he's back to the drawing board.
All right. Last fight we're going to talk about from last week is Tony Harrison versus Sergio Garcia. And I kind of saw Harrison looking really sharp. After the first few rounds, he was kind of, it seemed like he wasn't, there. But past round 3, 4, 5, he was looking really sharp and really just got a lot of good work in against Garcia. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Garcia was a gamer. He came out, tried to be real strong. He was pushing action the first couple rounds. Harrison looked like he seemed as if he was either trying to get warmed up or he wasn't really in his game. But as you mentioned, once he came full circle, he started bringing the pressure. He was very active, mobile. He fought a very intelligent fight. He boxed real well, was moving around. It's almost as if he showed that he had a greater championship pedigree because he had been there before. He's been a champion. And he looked like the guy that we wanted him to be, right? We thought who he was shown against Charlo, what he did there. And we were wondering whether or not he was going to come up and show his talents again. He felt real comfortable, even had a nice demeanor after the fight in the post-game conference, press conference after he was talking to folks. Looked real good. And I think he set himself up for maybe another good fight along the way. So we'll see how that works out. But very impressive by Tony Harrison.
Yeah. The fight coming up that we're all looking forward to is the Ugas Spence fight coming up on the 16th. And what do you see in this fight? Because I look at the tail of the tape. Ugas has dropped 4, he has 13 knockouts. You know what Errol Spence brings to the table, 21 knockouts. And so he has a 78 KO percentage versus a 42% KO percentage with you guys. What do you expect in this particular fight?
We know Ugas is a tough guy, right? We know that. And a lot of people were saying coming over from Cuba, he had a tough life, whatnot. Then when you watch the fight that he had against Sean Porter, I saw some of that today. And in that 12th round, I did think he had the knockdown, but they didn't give it to him. So I think I think he could have won that fight easily. The Pacquiao fight, he beat a legend, and everybody's telling him, oh, now he's going to keep moving forward, and he's going to take another legend out in Errol Spence Jr. I like Ugas. Does he have a chance? Yeah, he definitely have a chance. But one thing about Errol Spence Jr., the more heat that comes towards him, the more he raises the game. And I think that's what he does. From the point of the Danny Garcias and even the Mikey Garcias, and then most importantly, Sean Porter. Sean Porter came directly at him, and instead of running and boxing, he said, you know what? I'm going to stay right here in the pocket with him. So I think early on, Ugas is going to kind of try to dictate, do some boxing, and he's real crafty. I went back and watched that Porter fight again, like I said, and he's crafty, and he has these hooks where he can catch you rolling off of your body. So he's very talented, but I'm not sure if he's ever been to the next level that Errol Spence Jr. is going to take him. And I think for some reason or another, I mentioned this to some other folks before, I think as much as Errol Spence doesn't talk, everybody's been running him out, talking about he's scared of Crawford and whatnot. I think he has a plan. And I think he wants to show the world I'm the best at 147, and I'm gonna let it be known. So I think he has a plan because he already said he only really has maybe 1 or 2 fights left at 147. Mm-hmm. So while everybody's talking about it, I think he has a plan. I think he's really focused, particularly after the detached retina and whatnot. I think he does not believe he has a lot of time to be playing around. So he's looking for the Ugas fight, take care of Ugas, and then automatically it's like, I'm gonna fight Crawford. I think he's not talking about it just like, you want to get this done, let's get this done. You've been talking, I don't need to talk, I don't need to belabor this point or whatever with you, I'm not gonna discuss it. If you want to get this, you can get it. So he's gonna do that after if he wins this fight, and then after that, he said, I'm going to 154. And let the chips fall where they may. Because he said it's very difficult for him to make the weight at 147, but he's so tunnel vision and right on. I would not want to face him, even Terrence Crawford right now. I would not want to face Errol Spence right now because I think he has something to prove because he's been sitting around for a while and had all these situations come in his life. So I expect him to deliver this Saturday versus Ugas.
Yep. Well, the fight is this Saturday at the AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. It's the main event. I know I'm going to be set up and watching that one. I'm looking forward to it. Spence is one of my favorite fighters I like to watch. So I've been watching him since day one, his first fight, and always felt that he would be on this level. So I'm looking forward to a good fight. I think Ugas is going to bring the fight, but I'm looking for Spence to either win by a decision or TKO late in maybe the 11th or 12th round. Because one thing I know about Spence, man, when he hits, he has bad intentions, as the boxing analysts would say. He throws punches with bad intentions. And so I do think you're correct, and he wants to prove something because everybody's talking about everybody else but him. And it's almost like they've written him off and don't think he's the fighter that he once was. But I think he's going to come back even better. And he's fighting at home. So he has that home cooking. So I know he's not going to be embarrassed in front of his home crowd. Hopefully. It's the fight game. He's Ice Water. I'm Puma.